Yep. Hey everyone, Jim Gale here with Food Forest Abundance, and I'm here with Alexander. And Alexander is teaching us about how to inoculate biochar. Is that right?
Yeah, just a little bit. So there's a lot of different ways that you can do it. Some people just blend their biochar with a little bit of manure or compost, leave it for a couple weeks. Some people do a Korean natural farming method. And they basically take a bokashi grain fermentation, and then they toss that with the biochar as well, which is a little bit more complex. It takes a little more time and just a little more knowledge. This is probably the most complicated way, which is just how I like to do things. So this is actually my special compost tea brew. So it's an actively aerated compost tea. A couple of things in there. There's a little bit of molasses, a little bit of kelp, a little bit of fish, and then a whole bunch of other secret stuff. Everybody does it a little bit different, and this is just what I've found to be most effective over time, because everything from climate to temperature to just how you're literally feeling can affect that tea. So this is where we've come to. And then this is the biochar that we use. It's a Wakefield Biochar. They're a company up in Georgia that makes some really good biochar. There's not many places you can get it in the United States. I also sell it through my company as well for smaller bulk amounts. Yeah, so one little bit of biochar the size of my thumbnail has a surface area of a square mile. So what that does is it gives the microbes a place to live. So on that, the carbon, it literally, with all that surface area, it absorbs those microbes in, and they won't decompose for over 1,000 to 100,000 years. So what that does is give them a permanent safe place to breed and reproduce, and even when all the biology dies off, they can still come back from that. And yeah, so then we're going to implant that into the soil underneath all our plants. It's just going to give them a nice, healthy, indigenous microorganism feast to start taking off and communicating with their surroundings, and that's doing great.
That's phenomenal. Now, it also absorbs and holds water, right?
Yes, it does. Yeah, you can actually really ruin your land for like 3 years if you do it wrong. Because what it is right now is raw biochar. So when you put it in, it's going to absorb all the nutrients and everything around it, all the water it can. It'll increase your water absorption up to 18% on your land based on different studies. But yeah, if I put this beneath my plant without doing the proper things to it, then it will kill my plant and all the fertility from the land, suck it in. But over 3 years, after it's all filled up, it's going to start re-releasing it. So you got to be careful and make sure you know what you're doing a little bit. But once you get it, you get it. So
now, one more question: is worm castings part of this?
Yes, it is as well. Some people just use a compost tea. Some people use a worm castings. The bokashi grain is another method as well. You can also harvest indigenous microorganisms like they do in Korean natural farming. We get ours from our worm farm, so we extract that in a special process that we have. Oh, look at those beautiful whooping cranes.
Yeah. Oh, babies. Wow.
We do that in a special process we have, then we ferment that, make sure it can always breathe, and then we add that in and make sure we aerate our mixture and make a nice compost tea. Yeah.
Awesome. Now, do you have a place, if somebody wants to buy this from you, where they can go?
Yeah, definitely. You can go to our website at Sherwood Gardens. We sell it by the gallon or applications. We also do classes on how to make it. And you can contact us at Lake Sherwood Gardens, or reach us at 407-350-7714 for food forest consultations, fertilizing consultations, or anything you need.
Awesome, and I'll put those links in the video too, so you can get a hold of Alex and biochar, and this is just incredible stuff, my friends. When you plant correctly, mimicking natural processes, and that's what worm castings especially are, is mimicking natural processes. You can increase your yield so substantially that the return on investment on something like this can be literally from an incredible food forest to nothing. That's how important it is to plant using natural methods and mimicking natural processes. So thank you. Check us out, Food Forest Abundance. We're going to be bringing a lot more little details like this to you on a daily and weekly basis.